And welcome to ESPN's unprecedented coverage of the NCAA Gymnastics Regionals. We're in Tuscaloosa, where history is still being pursued. Two teams will leave Tuscaloosa tonight, with Texas as their next destination. Alabama, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri combined put up the best regional competition of our second round regionals. And so we're expecting a huge night tonight with Oklahoma, Alabama, Arkansas, Missouri, all trying to get to the national championship. Two teams will advance out of the four. And once again, hello everyone, I'm Sam Gordon. I'm honored to be alongside Ashley Miles-Grieg. Ashley was the former National Collegiate Gymnast of the Year and a four-time individual champion. So Ashley, with all those accomplishments, you've obviously been in this situation before. What's it like for these gymnasts?
Well, it's exciting, and we talked about how at the beginning of the season, the goal for these teams is to be on the floor the last night with a chance to be crowned national champion. And tonight, everything is on the line, so they're going to have to put up big numbers and be solid to have a chance to earn one of those top two spots.
Well, if what we saw yesterday was any indication, we're in for a treat. Let's go back to some of the big routines from yesterday.
Yeah, Alabama standout sophomore Luis Blanco goes 9.975 on the bar. She was pretty much flawless, then goes over to the beam and nails it. So solid, so beautiful for a perfect 10. She also won the all-around with a huge score of a 39.8. And I want to also go over to Oklahoma. That was a big moment for Alabama and Louisa there, but they had the highest regional team score of 198 of all the regions, led by senior Anastasia Webb. Perfect 10 on bars. Flawless, beautiful gymnastics, really fun to watch. And to top it off, she goes over to floor and posts a career-high 9.95 for what was one of the most electrifying performances of the night. So fun to watch them, and looking forward to see if they can put up that gymnastics again tonight.
KJ Kindler in the process of building a dynasty at Oklahoma. They're the defending champions from 2019. They've won 4 titles in the last 6 years. And wow, Alabama's just maintaining that momentum they gained by winning the SECs, but it's a huge streak they have on the line. They've never lost a regional in which they have hosted. So Oklahoma posted that best score of the night, so they will go on vault first. And as the leadoff in this regional final, what are you trying to do for your team here, Ashley?
You are trying to set the tone. What happened yesterday is gone. This is a new night, and they'll start off by trying to be just as perfect as they can. You see in the top left box a big, huge vault for Oklahoma to start off with a decent score. That will be.
That was Audrey Davis. Jinsey Gibbons is on the bars for Alabama. Kiara Gianfaga for Arkansas on the beam. And Missouri has Sienna Schreiber on the floor. Missouri put up their third best score in school history last night. So Missouri comes in with some momentum as well.
Missouri on fire. You see Lindsey Gibbons there. Just Jinsey Gibbons stuck that double layout dismount. Alabama posted a school record total team score on the bars yesterday, so we're looking to maybe build on that tonight with that opening performance.
Allie Stern about to run the ball in the top left corner as we're still waiting on Davis's score to give you. And on the beam, Gianfaga wrapping up her routine.
Nice dismount. I'm looking at the top left. Look at that sparkle on the leotard. That's probably one of the most sparkly ones I think I've seen.
It's blinding.
She looks really nice and calm and relaxed, getting ready for those judges to raise the green flag. Of course, they've got to wait till they're prepared to see the gymnastics. So.
We had 3 perfect 10s yesterday. Anastasia Webb, Makari Doggett, Lisa Blanco, you touched on them in the open. But this regional was so competitive. Iowa, which did not make the regional final, they actually outscored 5 of the teams that advanced to regional finals today. So it's tough to make the top 4 in Tuscaloosa.
That's right. It just goes to show how important it is to put together a full meet all the way around. You can't just have 1 or 2 events where you hit and have mistakes on the other one. And those first night, Alabama and Arkansas, I thought, gave a little bit away, so they're going to want to tighten it up here.
Davis's score came in 9-8. Here goes Stern, top left of your picture.
Yurchenko 1.5. Big vault. Really gets a lot of height, a lot of amplitude, good position, but a pretty big step on the landing. Definitely bigger than what we saw yesterday.
Oklahoma.
Gaskins, a double layup just now in the top right screen. Another stuck landing for Alabama on the bar, so opening up big.
Again, Alabama has never lost a regional they've hosted. They had a 9.875 in that first bar routine by Givens. Still waiting on the beam score and the floor score for the other two teams, Arkansas and Missouri.
And that's a huge stat. They're going to have their hands full if Oklahoma comes out the way they did yesterday. Just pedal to the metal, you know, foot on the gas and never lets up. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep that streak alive, never losing when they host the regional.
Yeah, that 198 score last night of Oklahoma, that is a very elite score. It's the 40th time they've ever hit the 198 mark. Most of any program in the country. And right now, Webb is waiting to go on the vault in the top left. And on the bars, Gaskins. Floor is Marshall now after Schreiber's 9.85. Ellswick on the beam.
And she has a little balance check on the balance beam for that flight series. And Anastasia's off on the vault. She'll do a Yurchenko 1.5. And again, I think Oklahoma's obviously got some energy. They're kind of pumped when you start on vault. You can see they're over-rotating and really exploding, which is good, but they need to find those landings if they're going to put up those big numbers.
In gymnastics, when you have a night like you did last night for Oklahoma, do you feel looser today, or do you feel more pressure to repeat that because you start from scratch tonight?
Yeah, you definitely start from scratch, and I think there's probably a big sense of pressure, right? This is the lights are on, everything's on the line, you need to be clean, you need to get, you know, those two top spots to qualify. So they're probably just trying to stay as loose as possible, but there's definitely some added nerves.
Well, Alabama is rocking the bars right now. That was a 9.9 by Gaskins. So they've got scores of 9.875 and 9.9.
Emily Gaskins actually competed all around yesterday for the first time since 2019. She really had to step up and go on all four and did a good job.
Those two scores I mentioned for Alabama are both season highs for Givens and Gaskins. Come on. Two teams will leave here with the national championship destination in sight. Fort Worth, Texas, hosting the national championships. 8 teams going this year. Here goes Schaffen on the ball.
And at the ball, there's that tough 1.5. Again, you see how high she was, and she over-rotated that. Couldn't quite get the landing. So starting off on vault, it can be difficult when your juices are flowing and you've got all that energy and excitement. They really just need to kind of settle into this and try to find some of those landings. This is not the meet you want to give any tenths away.
In light of that, when you approach a regional final, are you playing it safe, trying to hit landings, or are you trying to be more aggressive to get higher scores?
I think it's a combination of both. Really, it's going to depend a lot on the athlete, and it depends on the situation, because you might find yourself, let's say tonight, where it's a really, really close meet, and you know you need a certain score to hit. You might say, okay, don't do that 1.5 on vault. Just go for the full, try to get the clean landing so that we're more likely to solidify a spot. So it's all in how you approach it. And that was another big score, a big routine for Alabama on bars with Adams.
That was Adams. Yeah, Adams had a 9.95 last night, and she's following Mikado's 9.925. It's been a fantastic start on bars for Alabama, as right now their low score is 9.875. Of course, they've got a couple more gymnasts to go. Webb, by the way, hit a 9.9 on the vault a moment ago.
Yeah, there's really no deduction there to take from her on that vault except for the landing. Really, her form throughout is perfect, and it was a pretty big hop too. So that 9.9 probably was about a full tenth.
Missouri's had 9.85 and 9.8.
There's a good vault. Yurchenko 1.5. She found the landing just a slight step to the right. So it's all coming together for Oklahoma on the ball.
Vassar, she had a 9.9 last night. She's an All-American on the bars.
Speaking of All-American on bars, Makari Doggett went perfect 10 on this event yesterday, so we'll see if she can come up with another one tonight. And so far, so good. She's hit every handstand. Watch her legs on this dismount, glued together. Didn't get the landing on that one, a little shuffle hop back, and she knows it, but that's still going to be a massive score for Alabama.
Alabama's had massive scores. Adams had just put up a 9.975, which is a career high for her. Still the lowest score for Alabama through 4 gymnasts is 9.875. You get to drop one of the scores after each rotation.
So we were going crazy yesterday about Oklahoma dropping 9.85s on every event. We could see maybe something even more impressive tonight from Alabama on the bars.
9.875 drop would be amazing. Again, Alabama's just on such a roll. They surprised everyone by winning the SECs, taking Florida out. And now they have that streak of never having lost a regional.
Yeah, Dana said. Troutman on vault, and that is how you do it, folks. Yurchenko 1.5. She found that landing, which is exactly what they needed. That is going to be a huge number for Oklahoma over on the ball.
So they end that rotation with an exclamation point. She had a 9.9 last night on the vault. We'll see how it scored. That looked pretty perfect to me. It's up.
Salto transition to the low bar. She's off to the races, just her dismount left. Beautiful handstand.
Wow.
And a stuck landing. Full twisting double back. She does it again, just so calm, so collected, and it looks like there's a 10 possibly for Oklahoma on the vault. So many 10s this weekend.
I don't think you celebrate like that for a 9.9. They are going crazy over there.
I don't
in the
think
Oklahoma
so.
corner.
Put it up. You look in that top left box.
Yeah, we haven't seen confirmation of it, but
yeah, you see them erupt. You don't erupt like that unless it's something big. So we'll get confirmation here in a minute, Sam.
we had 3 10s last night. This was the most competitive regional, the highest scoring regional of all 4.
And through all that, with the eruption, you got a balance beam competitor going. They're right there at the end of the balance beam, so you best believe she heard that. But you got to stay focused and in the moment, and they practice that.
Gutula just had a fantastic floor routine as well. She's following Schaefer's 9.85, and it is a 10 for Olivia Troutman. So we've just seen our 4th 10 of this Tuscaloosa regional and the first of the night, and it's in the very first rotation.
That's awesome.
Troutman won the Athens regional a couple years ago on floor, but that is already one of her most perfect routines. She's never had a 10. Well, actually, she has. She's had 1 career 10 on a vault, so that was her second. She's had 1 on the floor. So now we're down to beam and floor.
Yeah, they don't. Those 10s are not easy to come by. They don't just give them away. You got to earn them. You hear of athletes talking so much, like, I've just been waiting for that 10. I want that 10. I've gone 9.975. And it's such a good feeling when you finally can get it done and you see it rewarded.
Can you tell, Ashley, like as a gymnast, do you know you hit a 10, or is there still that little bit of doubt?
When you get a 10, you know. I believe Troutman on that vault knew she got a 10. I don't know if Doggett yesterday knew it was a 10, but certain events you just know.
That's a 49.45 for Oklahoma. And now on the floor, Sharametta for Missouri. And Arkansas still on the beam with excellent performances so far. Carter's about to go.
consistent, super fun to watch.
Shermetta had a 9-9 last night in her floor routine. She's been one of the most consistent gymnasts this year.
Big scorers that haven't broken the 9-9 tally yet, but they really are putting together a solid performance, all clean, all good landings, which is what you want to see.
Missouri hasn't won a regional since 2010. They're happy to be in this final. Remember, Auburn was a seed that could not compete. There's the end of the routine for Shermetta.
Focus on the balance beam. That handspring layout flight series. Nice and square. Didn't move an inch. She really works the beam calmly. You can see how relaxed she is. And you'll see lots of different types of beam workers. You'll see folks that are aggressive, folks that are just more flowy. She is just very calm, cool, and collected, like she's just almost on the floor. It's always amazing when you see these, what I call beamers, folks that love beam.
Some great performances last night on the beam.
And there's that required full turn. We talk about it all the time, how it gives people issues, and it's such a simple skill. You see she had a little slight balance check there twice on that full turn. Had to, and there it is again. Little stuff like that. They take those tenths and they add up. Side aerial, back full off the end, and gets the landing. So good finish. Good
she had a 9.85 last night on the beam. We'll see if she can better that. McCrary about to finish the rotation for Missouri on the floor, following Shermetta's 9.875.
She went 9.925 on the floor yesterday, so expect to see big gymnastics from her. It's a really great routine. She does a front layout, front 1.5, also known as a Rudy, her first pass.
On floor in every meet this season.
These moments, that's what you need. You're a veteran, been there, done that. You know she's going to go out and get the job done because she's the closer. Huge double pike there, great landing, nice and clean. No deductions to take on that.
Kennedy Hambrick on the left side of your screen, getting ready to hop up on the beam for the final performance on beam for Arkansas.
Definitely has the ability to score way higher than that. So Kennedy will look to do better tonight for sure.
A nice finish by McCrary, and we'll wait and see what her score is. But again, Oklahoma finishing the vault with a perfect 10 by Olivia Troutman. Alabama finished bars with a 9.925. Their lowest score was a 9.875.
There it is, they dropped it.
Alabama is leading right now.
Nice series for Hambrick. The handspring layout, nice and solid. Nice combination there, fully extended on both of those leaps. Jump, shadow 3/4, slight balance check. Needed to keep that center of gravity right over the top of the beam. But your veterans do a good job of making those adjustments throughout the skills and not giving a lot away. Just a dismount, gainer full off the side, and gets the landing.
Yeah, I think that score should be better than last night.
Yeah, definitely better. I think so for sure. Just a few little slight balance checks.
Jordan Weaver, former Olympic gold medalist in her second year as the head coach here, getting everybody loosened up with the shoulder shake.
I think she was telling them to shake it off. Shake it off.
So Alabama just shy of their record-setting bar performance last night, but tonight it is good enough to start this meet in first place. They lead after the first rotation, Oklahoma in second. Yes, the postseason is back. ESPN2 will host the national semifinals, and ABC will show you the National Gymnastics Championship on April 17th. Two of the teams inside Coleman Coliseum will be heading to Fort Worth to compete in those national championships. And what a good start it was for Oklahoma's Olivia Troutman, getting a perfect 10 on the beam, and on the bars, Alabama just barely missed their school record they established last night. For Arkansas, 9.9 by Carter, and on the floor it was Schaefer with a 9.85, a career high for her. So we have completed one rotation. Ashley, I'm already out of the jacket here. I mean, I am so pumped up about what we're seeing here in Tuscaloosa. Some already fantastic performances. What were your impressions of that first rotation?
I couldn't agree with you more. That was an exciting first round, and I think all the teams had a lot of energy, especially Oklahoma on the vault, flying high. But Olivia Troutman found that landing. So really good start, and Missouri with a season high on the floor exercise for them. So some exciting stuff to start off with.
It's been so easy to find highlights in this meet. So let's find some more from the first rotation.
Yeah, we had some huge highlights. Machado on bars goes 9.925, just flawlessly works her way through this routine. Nice combination dismount, sticks the landing. And then, of course, Adams, a staple in this lineup. She was so close to getting perfect. One judge did give her a 10. She went 9.975. Again, combination, giant full double tuck, nails the landing. Then here is the talk of the night so far, Olivia Troutman, perfect 10. Yurchenko, 1.5 full, flawless landing. I'm so excited I can't even talk right. It's always exciting when you can get perfect scores, especially on the vault, because those landings are so hard to find. And then over on the balance beam, you had Miss Carter, back handspring layout there, nice and clean, goes 9.9, their best performance for them, and sticks that dismount, really put together a solid performance on the beam for Arkansas.
Well, this is a big event nationally. We are showing you all four regionals. Congratulations to NC State. State advancing from the first round. It's the first time a team has done that since we've gone to this new format of the two teams meeting on the first night to get into the second night. 5 scores across the nation of 10.0, but remember, we had 3 of them here, and including that's not including one that we just had in the first rotation tonight. Oklahoma has been the team to beat since 2010, and Coach Kendler has got her Sooners in position again to try to claim a 5th championship in the last 7 years, as they were tied with Florida in the road to national standings, but a tiebreaker made Oklahoma the number 2 seed. Actually, I got a question for you. That 10 that we saw in the last rotation by Troutman, it ended the rotation for Oklahoma. Does when you get a big score matter to a team in terms of the mentality carrying forward?
It's always fun when you're closer and can get a perfect score. But I think at any point in time, if it's the second, third competitor up, when you get a 10, it might be a little more distracting in the middle of the rotation because you've got another athlete that wants to be excited for their teammate and cheer them on, but has to stay focused. So 10s are always fun.
Now we're heading into the second rotation. Missouri's on the vault now. That was the first vaulter. Oklahoma's on the bars, Bama's on the beam, and Arkansas is on the floor. First vaulter was Sydney Schaefer. Vault goes by quickly. It's usually the event that finishes first in this quad meet.
Focusing on the top right box, dismount on the bars for their opening competitor double layout. And Troutman got a 10 on vault, came over to bars to start them off strong.
She had a 9.875 on bars last night.
Really a big night for her. It was her first time in the all-around.
She was a floor All-American a couple of years ago. She's really become good, and like you said, now competing in the all-around.
Had some injuries and just kind of had to work her way back, but I'd say she's back now.
Abby Johnson on the
stuck dismount for their leadoff performer. Alabama continuing on, getting it done. That's what you want to see.
That was Alonzo Cloffer. Alabama with that strong start on the bars. And I'm sure Alabama probably was happy to start on bars after that school record last night.
Looking at the vault, top left. Huge Yurchenko full.
That was Holland Patrick. She was following the 9-7 put up by Schaefer. A 9-9 by Troutman on the bars.
Good for her. This routine is the second competitor that's up there now. It's not going to be as big of a score. There was a little bit of a break on the overshoot to handstand. Her hand slipped on the low bar, but she was able to keep it moving. However, that will be a very big deduction and probably a score that Oklahoma will want to drop.
That was Levasseur. Jordan Weber in the bottom right corner, talking to her next gymnast, which will be Madison Hickey. Johnson just went on the floor.
And when you see that interaction between coach and athlete, typically they're just reminding them of their cues, important things to remember, making them sure that they stay calm and letting them know that, hey, you can do this. Usually they end it with have fun.
It's been fun for me to watch how the four coaches approach their team, because it's all a little bit different. But in gymnastics especially, everything has always got to be just so positive. It's such a mental sport to me, as well as incredibly difficult physically. But your mentality out there is absolutely crucial.
That's right, you make a good point. That mental state is everything. You could be in the best shape, but if you don't got it upstairs, it's not going to work out too well for you in the sport of gymnastics. Shallon Olsen, bottom left corner on the beam, just did a like handspring layout flight series and nailed it perfectly. Really moving to this routine nicely. On the bars, top right. Kind of shifted my focus to Anastasia Webb, just did a coquina. Beautiful skill, you don't see too often.
Levasseur score, by the way.
Half out.
Levasseur scores a 9.75. That's the one they'll probably be looking to drop and see what Webb comes up with.
And Olsen drilled that double twist dismount on the beam. So Alabama continuing to just make it through and be steady, and looks like they're having fun doing it as well.
Cloffer had a 9.8 on the beam for Alabama. She was first. Johnston scored a 9.875 for Arkansas on floor. Schaefer's 9.7 on the vault, but they are racing through the vault. We're still waiting on the score on vault before McCrary can go.
Got the green light and the top left to go on the vault. Yurchenko full. And just pikes it down a little bit, and she didn't really need to. You see how high she was. She could have just kept that laid out position and let the momentum carry her into the landing, but nonetheless, still a pretty good vault.
As a former champion in vault yourself, are there just some intangibles that you look for in these gymnasts to know whether they've got it or not?
For sure, you can tell a lot on the entry for the athletes. You'll have some that don't really get the big block off the horse, and they don't, get the distance and the height. Then you've got some who maybe have all that, but they don't have the form. The key is really to put all those components together, and when you do, you know it. Even as I was distracted by Reagan Smith's stuff landing on bars on that double A out there. It was beautiful. She loves it.
Yeah, Smith just nailed it, and Alabama or Oklahoma fired up right now. Remember, Alabama led after the first rotation. Oklahoma was in second.
And so far tonight, really steady performance from Oklahoma. They seem to be keeping up with that same energy they had yesterday. Same from Alabama. Came out strong on the bars, and they look cool, calm, and collected on beam, which is what you want.
Well, they put up a 9-9 on bars. We'll see if Smith can beat that score.
Nice flight series on beam. A handspring layout. She's high energy on the balance beam.
And a big landing by Schreiber off the vault. Top left. Everybody's celebrating for Missouri.
Beam just finishing up. Another stuck landing for Alabama, and she showed that off. I love how she salutes. It's her head almost goes to the back of her legs. It's amazing.
This is a nationwide event, not just here in Tuscaloosa, and we've just been given word that Cal has advanced to Fort Worth. Cal came in 5th in the road to national standing, so congratulations to the Bears.
Congratulations to them. That's exciting. Anything can happen in these competitions. You have to be on. Just because you're the top seed doesn't give you an automatic bid to think that you're going to have one of those top 2 spots. You really have to go out there and earn it 2 days in a row.
Kerry Thomas just nailed another landing on the bars following a 9.925 by Smith. And it just seems to me that there's a theme in postseason across all sports this year, Ashley, and that's that, you know, forget the norm. This is a year where we're probably going to see a lot of upsets in just about every sport.
That's right. And for college gymnastics, we keep talking about how much more competitive it has gotten these past 10 years or so. I believe that there will be another school that will earn a national team title here pretty soon outside of the ones that have already done it.
Gatula just finished the vault for Missouri. She was following Schreiber's career high 9.9. So Missouri ending with an exclamation point after the vault. So we're down to 3. Carter on the floor for Arkansas. She's following Benizzi's 9.775, which was a career high for her.
Nice, huge opening pass, double tuck, stays in bounds. And you'll see sometimes that the athletes do choose to have a little bit of extra padding there with the mat on the floor. As long as they tape the lines to where they can see where the out of bounds are, it's perfectly fine to do. Twist front full. Adams doing that wolf turn. A little bit of a balance check on the top right is where I was just looking. My attention went there as that wolf turn started. So she seemed to be really just trying to make it through this routine. Needs to really settle in. Nice leap combination.
Alabama has not gone over 9.85 on the beam so far. It's Gaskins who went last.
Big close on floor for Carter.
Right.
Nice landing for Adams on beam. So they're moving along. Tell by her reaction, probably not that excited about that routine as a whole, but she did stay on the equipment. Dana just reviewing that, probably giving her some pointers there while it's still fresh.
Again, 2 teams will leave here as qualifiers for the national championship. Cal is already in from another regional. And we've had a lot of interesting scores coming across our ears tonight. And we'll try to keep you up to date. This is a simulcast, so there are other regionals that are taking place on the ESPN app at the same time. It's the first time anyone has ever shown all 4 regionals in their entirety like ESPN's done this year. And ESPN2 will have the national semifinals. ABC will have the national championship from Fort Worth. It's a big-time exposure for National Collegiate Gymnastics, Ashley.
Yeah, a lot of gymnastics. It's been great for the sport. We talked a lot yesterday about the viral routines that has also been so great for the sport, bringing lots of new fans.
This is just one of those, it's one of those sports where it catches your eye. You're flipping through the channels, you see gymnastics, and you just want to stay.
Because it's so amazing what these athletes are able to do. And it's a lifetime of dedication and hard work, and hard on your body, hard mentally like we talked about. But it's so rewarding when you get to this point in your career in college where college gymnastics is really all about the team. It's not so much individual, and it just makes it so much more fun.
Carter had a 9-9 on the floor earlier. Doggett is on the beam now for Bama.
And she's trying to bring that back on. Alabama giving a little bit away, like you said, has not broken 9.85 on the beam, and she'll just need to settle in and not give too much away.
Oklahoma was trailing Alabama after the first rotation. We'll have to wait to see what the scores look like after this rotation. So Oklahoma had an excellent performance on the bars. Schaefer finished for Arkansas on the floor. Hambrick to go. There's the landing by Doggett.
Again, another performer for Alabama exiting the equipment. Didn't get that big reaction. So, again, probably not happiest with that beam performance, but they stayed on and they're getting through it. Guess what we've got to close them out?
Blanco. She had the 10 last night on the beam. It was the best performance of the night. She's on the left side of your picture.
No stranger to being in this position.
Jordan Weaver was just talking to Kennedy Hambrick, who's going to end the floor routine for Arkansas.
Blanco's breathing.
Blanco's one of those gymnasts on the left that you want to keep your eye on as they both start at the same time.
Dana described Blanco as just pure elegance, fierce grace, and beauty. I think that about sums it up. Very accurate when you watch her gymnastics.
SEC Gymnast of the Year. She was the all-around champion at the SECs this year. In fact, she's won the all-around her last 5 meets. She's the first-team All-American on the beam.
That was a mistake on that middle pass on the floor.
It's Hambrick.
Yes, she kept going, but there was a form break. I'm not really quite sure, actually, what she was supposed to do there, but it definitely was not that. Her legs were bent on the second flip. She'll continue to move through this routine. Blanco has one of the most difficult flight series you'll see. It's a 3-flight series. She does the handspring layout. Oh, and that's a good example of where maybe they decided to step back because they needed a hit routine like we talked about. She usually does a triple flight series, does not have an issue with it at all. Hits it, but there just does a handspring layout, takes it out. So maybe being a little safe and cautious, trying to make sure they get this big score in because they will need it.
Yeah, it is interesting the approach you take when you know that it's all on the line tonight. Only 2 teams are leaving here. Can't afford a mistake when you can help it.
Yep. Just the dismount left. She can get this landing. This will be a big score for them. Double twist,
got it.
Light hop back. She did. Yep. She got the job done. Just a sophomore. She is so impressive. Just how steady and consistent she is. It's like she flipped a switch. And ever since then, it's been on.
She's also a Scholastic All-American as well. So Oklahoma retaking the lead from Alabama after 2 rotations. Well, we might be in T-Town this weekend, but when it comes to gymnastics, it is Oklahoma that's been winning most of the titles over the past 6 years. Oklahoma is the defending champion since we didn't have a postseason last year, culminating with that 2019 championship. They've won 4 titles in the last 6 years, and they're trying to put themselves in position here in T-Town to go back for the opportunity to win another national championship. Here in Tuscaloosa, some things after the second rotation to look back on. Schreiber had a career high on the vault. Troutman continuing her good start. She had a 10 to start the meet, a 9.9 on the bars. Blanco, a 9.9 on the beam following up last night's 10. And Panizzi, a 9.775, which was a career high on the floor. So Ashley, after 2 rotations, Oklahoma now has caught back up with Alabama and has passed the tie, but those 2 are the 2 teams to beat at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. They're both getting the job done, doing what they need to do. Oklahoma continuing the momentum from yesterday. And Alabama, some little hiccups here and there, but ultimately getting it done, increasing their, solidifying their second place standing right now.
Well, we had another strong second rotation with some big performances as we take a look back at some of the highlights from rotation number 2.
Yeah, we talked about Olivia Troutman, a big 9.9, and she does her pack salto there for this routine. And again, just really solid gymnastics from her, very consistent, drills that double layout dismount. And then coming up also Reagan Smith, 9.925, a huge combination there for the release move. Nice toe point, good landing. Again, they're just drilling it. So really excited to watch them. Schreiber had a career high here, 9.9, and you'll see why with this vault. Just a little bit of a leg stuck out to the side on the landing, but ultimately really finds that landing and is excited about that. And then, of course, you can never say too many good things about Luisa Blanco. She's so fun to watch. Goes 9.9 here. Alabama really needed this performance for her, and she came through.
Boy, did she. Blanco nailing it with the 9.9 last night. She had a 10 on the beam. And so we're getting ready to head into rotation 3. Again, we're part of the overall picture tonight. This is what's happened so far. Florida, Minnesota, Michigan, California, all moving on to the semifinals or the national championship in Fort Worth. And by the way, Michigan scored a 198.1, which beats Alabama's 198 last night. So right now, Michigan has the highest score total of the event.
Yeah, we thought we were lucky yesterday with Oklahoma's 198. They did one better, and I think we're pacing possibly to even be higher than that. So lots of excitement going around the other sites as well. It'll be fun to see who can get it done tonight.
Oklahoma is leading Alabama right now. They retook the lead after the second rotation. But Oklahoma and Alabama are in the top 2 right now. That's what you're trying to do. Finish in the top 2 to be able to go to Fort Worth. Dana Duckworth's team winning the SECs, and they have never lost a regional that they've hosted, but they are taking on Coach Kindler's dynasty. I mean, Oklahoma is just an amazing program in gymnastics. So here we go into rotation 3. It'll be Arkansas on the vault, Missouri on bars, Oklahoma on beam, and Bama on floor. First on the vault is Savannah Panizzi.
Really going to want to settle in to these full routines. It's an opportunity for them to really earn some big scores. They're used to competing in this arena. This is their home arena. We'll check out the vault first. Top left, Yurchenko full. It was a good one. Nails the landing. Arkansas off to a good start on the vault.
Shallon Olsen is on the floor for Alabama in the bottom right. And on the beam for Oklahoma is Olivia Troutman. Missouri has Chelsea Christensen about to go on bars.
Yeah, fun to see Troutman in that leadoff spot. That really says a lot about an athlete. In multiple events, she led them off on bars, leading them off on beam, closed them out on vault.
Why does that impress you with her leading off?
Because that means that she is consistent and they trust, and that KJ Kindler trusts her to get up there and get them off. Get them started nicely for the rotation. Excuse me. She's doing a good job. Front flip, pike position to a split jump. Very, very difficult. She makes it look so easy, just floated through that skill. Inner pike back, gets the landing. Another solid performance from Troutman.
Olsen going on the floor in the bottom right. She had a 9.875 last night. She's Canadian. First team All-SEC.
Gets them off to a nice start. Her tumbling is always so fun to watch because you just don't think that she's going to get her flipping around if you ever watch her. She just kind of whips it really, really fast. Doesn't really get the height, but she does such difficult gymnastics. It's a wonder to watch.
Look at Coach Kindler in the bottom left.
Very, very intense. Talk about the different coaching styles. Just talking her through everything that she needs to remember, what she wants to see. And it's always fun too sometimes to see where the coaches stand on the event. You have certain coaches that always stand off to the end of the beam directly, so you see them sometimes to the side. A lot of times athletes may have a preference. She heads down to the end, probably directly square on to watch. There you have it. Yep.
Audrey Davis, the gymnast she's talking to.
Clofer on the bottom right for Alabama on the floor. Had a fall yesterday, very uncharacteristic for her on the floor exercise, so we'll see how she can bounce back from that. Contribute to the team score today with a big number, which she has the ability to put up.
We did not see Lexi Graber yesterday, and I think we may get a chance to see her today. They've been holding her out because of some injury concerns. Nice.
So far, so good for Clofer. Yeah, you talk about the performance they put on yesterday and today, having to do that without one of their senior leaders. Alana Clofer on the floor now is the other senior. So if they need her, she can go on vault, according to Dana. So hopefully they won't need her and they can rest her. There it is again. That middle pass, 1.5 front layout. She fell on that yesterday and not that much better today. Really gonna need to tweak that in the gym. That's 2 days in a row, so something definitely is going on there with that pass for her. Drilled landing in the bottom left for balance beam. Oklahoma continuing their streak of just hitting their routines.
That was Davis after we watched that lengthy pep talk before she got on the beam. She's following Troutman's 9.825. Clofer finished with her floor routine.
And again, she's not going to be happy with that floor performance. Dana really probably talking to her about that pass, trying to see what's going on. Definitely something technical there.
Missouri's very excited right now on the bars in the top right of Holland Patrick's going.
She whipped that double layout around and drilled the landing. Seen a lot of that today.
They were happy throughout that routine with Patrick.
High energy.
See if her score, we'll see if her score reflects that emotion from her team.
Mm-hmm. They liked what they were saying. They were loud. You could hear them.
Arkansas on the vault has had a Panizzi with a 9.85 and Hickey with a 9.75.
And Griffin James on the bottom right corner for Alabama on the floor. A little bit of pressure in this situation for sure. After Clover, we'll see her score in a minute. It looks like it's going to be a 9-5. So again, she didn't fall, but she gave away some tenths on that second pass. Front layout, 1.5. Good start. Sure they want to be as clean as possible. I'm focusing on the bottom right floor. Griffin James.
James following scores of 9-8-5 and 9-5. Like you said, they'll be wanting to drop that 9-5. Another good bar routine.
Yeah.
From Marshall. She followed the 9-8-5 from Patrick.
It's always fun. Their energy is pulling you into the box almost.
Yeah, it keeps catching my eye.
Good stuff. Double tuck, pass, hangs on to the landing. That could have been over-rotated, but she holds on to it. That's what they needed from her on that routine, for sure. Focusing on Oklahoma bottom left, dismount, side aerial, back full, another drilled landing. Yeah. They are just going, they're not letting up, folks. They are just having a heck of a beam performance tonight.
Oklahoma was in second place after their first rotation. They grabbed first back after the second rotation. And now, solid start on the beam.
Looking like they're not going to let it go.
Alabama's had scores of 9-8-5 and 9-5-0. Waiting on Griffin James' score on the floor.
Top left vault, Yurchenko full, huge vault, good form. Nice landing.
That was Amanda Ellswick.
Continuing that high energy of Missouri on bars, top right corner. Double layout, and she fought for the landing, but it wasn't controlled, that double arm swing that she did backwards. So she was really fighting for it, but couldn't quite get it. There you go, bottom right, Gaskins, double layout. She's landed that short a couple times, but she did not that time. That was a very cleanly done, well executed double layout for her.
Griffin James just had a career high 9-9 on the floor for Alabama.
That was a big performance from Griffin James after coming up after a fall. Nice leaps there. Has one of the most beautiful toe points. Just watch her feet every time they leave the floor. They're extended out. Front through roundhouse, back handspring, double tuck. Another great landing. Dana loved it. You can bet if this was a packed house, if there were fans, they'd be going crazy over this music.
Yeah, I was going to say, she really picked a good routine of the music in terms of being here in Alabama.
That's right, that's right. And that was a great routine from Gaskins.
So Gaskins trying to follow the 9-9 of James, and Alabama chasing Oklahoma. So final vaulter for Missouri, or excuse me, final vaulter for Arkansas.
So many career highs. Career high for James on the floor, career high for Kylie Woodard on beam at a 9.95, and Reagan Smith is up there just rocking it. I've been watching her on the bottom left of your screen just move her way through this beam routine flawlessly. So if she can continue this throughout and get this landing on the dismount, this will be another huge number for Oklahoma on the balance beam. There it is. That's going to be a big one, y'all. That was a great routine.
That was the last score of her teammate, you said Woodward.
really building the momentum. Oklahoma does a really good job of just keeping that foot on the gas and not letting up.
I think they're both looking more and more relaxed, Alabama and Oklahoma.
Really settling in these last few competitors. I agree, Sam.
Gaskins just put up a career high 9.925 on the floor.
Another career high.
Now it's Adams.
Double pike, opens out of that a little bit, didn't need to. So not the cleanest landing on that opening pass. But nonetheless, a fun routine. Gets that all the way around. Judges are looking for that. 1.5 front layout. There's a landing we want to see. And a smile, having fun.
Blanco will be next for Alabama.
The back half of the lineup for Alabama, looking to close out strong.
Thomas about to get on the beam.
Double tuck, looked a little winded going into that last pass. I was silent, holding my breath watching her, but she pulled it around. Double tuck to finish and gets through that routine.
Alabama's been getting better and better with their scores throughout this rotation. They had a 9.9, a 9.925. We'll see what Adams can pick up here and add to the Tide's total. As Thomas gets ready to get on the beam for Oklahoma.
Comfortable, very confident up there. She left no room for any error.
She had a 9.975 on the beam last night.
You see how she did that there on that handspring layout on the beam? That was a little bit off, but she covered it. She kind of put one arm down to the right to make it look like, oh, I meant to do that. That's what your veteran performers do. Like you said, she went 9.975 yesterday. That's why she could do that, because she's a pro on this event.
Blanco's just getting started on the floor on the right side of your screen.
Ooh,
oh,
foot slipped and she's hurt on that. She did that side aerial and her foot just slid right off the side and couldn't make the twist around, so she definitely jammed her ankle. That's scary. You hate to see that. Still has to salute to finish the routine. Did you see that?
Following the 9.950 by Smith, so that could be a big loss for Oklahoma. Blanco on the floor now. She's the last gymnast for the Tide.
Doing what she does best. Putting together a nice floor routine. This is her second pass.
Wow.
Just falls out of the sky. That's a landing. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, it is. You touched on it earlier, but it's just amazing to me. She's only a sophomore. She's so good.
Yeah, we got 2 more years of this. And this season's not even done yet. She just keeps racking in the accolades and really putting on performances as she finishes up with yet another strong closeout performance for Alabama.
I love Dana Duckworth's reaction.
And Luisa's too. She always pounds her chest and points like, you know, it's all heart.
So that'll finish the floor for Alabama. Let's hope that Carrie Thomas is okay after her slip on the beam. This was
you'll see here her foot right here comes off the side, can't quite get it planted in that full, and just all that energy, all that force went straight to her ankle when she landed. You'll see it right there. Oh, you hate to see that, immediately grabbing the ankle. That just looks really painful. You hate to see that.
It's just incredible strength that she was able to use that right leg to execute that back flip.
And they teach you that in gymnastics at a very young age. The worst thing you can do when something like that happens is bail out or try not to. You always want to finish the movement. That's going to be your best possible scenario in that instance. So she did what she was supposed to do. Unfortunately, that ankle really affected there. I hate to see that.
Her score was a 9.25. Obviously, they'll be dropping that one. Here's Webb to finish things. Webb was one of our 310s last night, but that 10 was on the bars. Webb had a 9.8 on beam last night. In fact, beam was her lowest score of the night.
Had uncharacteristic bobbles throughout for her yesterday, but we've talked a lot about the different types of beam workers, people that, you know, are steady, they flow through it. She's not calm, but she is sharp, aggressive. Nobody moves like Anastasia Webb. So fun to watch her. Front aerial, she's looking like she's gunning for a 10 on this routine.
Well, she knows that pressure's on after what happened to Thomas. They need this score.
Switch leap, moves through that flawlessly. Full extension on both of those leaps. Same dismount teammate just did.
There it is. Got it.
Yeah, she did. She likes it. They love it. And we'll just see what the judges thought about it here shortly.
Other than Thomas's 9.25, that was a very good beam series for Oklahoma.
Yeah,
they had
worry
two
about
9.95s. So we will wait on Webb's score to confirm where we are in the standings. One rotation to go for a spot in the national championship. For two of the teams here in Tuscaloosa, the semifinals on April 16th on ESPN2 and the national championship the next afternoon on ABC. Oklahoma, the defending champion, trying to get back to Fort Worth with a chance to defend that national title from 2019. And here in Tuscaloosa, after the third rotation, Oklahoma leading by 0.4. Panizzi put up a 9.85 for Arkansas. That was a career high on the bars. Third highest total of the season as Missouri continues to look good on bars. They're known as a beam team. Woodward, 9.950 on the beam. James, Gaskins all putting up career highs as well. So we are heading into the final rotation, Ashley, and I got to ask you, I mean, what's the mentality now? You've got Oklahoma and Alabama. If they just execute, they're going to Fort Worth. Does that change anything in the way you approach these final routines?
No, it doesn't, Sam. Not one bit. Alabama steady. Oklahoma steady in the leadoff position. All they need to go out here and do in this last rotation is do what they do. Do clean gymnastics, fight for the landings, and they'll be going to Fort Worth.
Well, let's look back on that third rotation before we head into our final rotation, see some of the highlights.
Yeah, on the balance beam, you had Carly Woodard, career high, 9.95. Oklahoma really rocked it out on this event. You see there the great landing, and her reaction was really big to that. She knew it was a good score for sure. And then, of course, Webb continues to just be amazing. 9.975, nails that. Could have been a 10. I don't see where the deduction was, but nonetheless a huge score. And then some more career highs. Alabama really stepping up. Griffin James goes 9.9. After a fall, mind you, she had to come in and execute this routine the way she did. So coach really going to be happy about that one. And Gaskins, this opening pass, the best she's ever done it. Double layout to go 9.925. Great toe point, good execution. Did exactly what they needed in her spot.
So we're about to determine who is headed to the national championships in Fort Worth. And here's who's already booked a spot from the other regionals. Florida, the #1 seed, Minnesota, Michigan with a 198.1 tonight. And look at the Golden Bears, Cal, into Fort Worth as well. So the Big Ten represented by 2 schools, the SEC with 1 and the Pac-12 with 1. KJ Kindler, her team in the lead heading into the final rotation. Oklahoma will be on floor, Bama will be on vault. What do you think of those 2 teams on each of those apparatuses?
I think Alabama, the vault has been the one thing where they weren't strong from the beginning of the season, but their performance at SECs really boosted their confidence, and they came up with a big score. So I think here tonight they're just really going to want to, again, fight for those landings. Don't go for too much. Don't try to stick it necessarily, but they want to make sure they get them around. And as far as Oklahoma on the floor exercise, I mean, 4 NCAA titles in the last 6 years. They won another one, and floor exercise is a really strong event for them. They have really fun choreography. They're just going to go out there and do what they do. They've proven that they can be consistent. One of their teammates just went down. They're just looking to close this out strong.
I do want to point out for Alabama, this is a coaching move. Lexi Graber has been inserted into the lineup. She is one of the leaders of this Alabama team that they've been holding out to try to give her some rest because of injury.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier, that we might see her, and Dana said if it comes down to it, and I think we need her score on vault, she can go. And that's what this is all about, stepping in when your team needs you.
Emily Gaskin's about to go on vault for Bama. She had a 9-8 last night. She was from Coral Springs, Florida. On the bars, Jillian Rux for Arkansas, Gabrielle Gatula on the beam from Missouri.
We'll focus on the vault. Yurchenko full, and first vaulter up, does what she needs to do, drills that landing. So really good start for Alabama.
And an excellent bar routine by Rutz as well for Arkansas on the top right. Floor is about to start. It's Jordan Draper going first.
She started them out flawlessly yesterday as well. Really had a lot of fun out there.
Draper had a 9-9 yesterday on the floor. Boom.
Double pike first pass. Chest probably a little lower than what you'd like to see, a little lower than yesterday.
Nice landing by Gatula off of her dismount on the beam.
Yeah, you hear us talk so much about landings. Landings here, landings there. She drilled this, she did, but that really is what it comes down to in these postseason meets. Those are the tents that you don't want to give away if you don't have to, because the judges, that's the last thing that they see. Within the routine throughout, they may see a leg separation here. One judge may take a little more than the other, but the one thing you cannot argue is if her feet did not move when they hit that landing. So that's why we emphasize it so much.
Adams is waiting to go on the ball, though. Rutz's bar score was a 9-8. Ball scored by Gaskins before Adams can get the green light.
Nice final pass on the floor exercise for Draper.
Gaskins put up a career high 9.85 on the vault. Here's Adams.
Yurchenko full, and you see there she was going for that stick, and by doing that, her chest was down on the landing. Good vault, the Yurchenko full, not worth a 10.0 start value anymore, just a 9.95. So if she did it perfectly, that's the highest she could score. So again, good vault, didn't have to pike down.
And everybody for OU seems to be happy with Draper's leadoff floor routine. Schaffer will be next.
9.85 for Gaskins on the vault. I'm actually a little surprised at that score. I thought it would have been possibly 9-9 territory the way she drilled that landing.
Olsen will be the next vaulter for Alabama. And just the fact that they put Graber in the lineup says to me they're still trying to win this meet.
That's what I think as well, Sam. I think they really want to go after it if they can. Gonna have to be some big numbers though, because 9-9 to open up floor for Oklahoma from Draper.
Yeah, career high 9-9 for Draper. Nice dismount on the beam.
Yeah, my reaction was on the bars, the Arkansas. She just buckled, her knees buckled on that double tuck dismount. Shallon Olsen does one of the most difficult vaults of your Chinko double twist. So she'll do 2 twists. When she does this well, she has the ability to score very big. Has struggled with this vault a little bit, so we'll see what she can come up with here. There it is, double twist.
Oh.
And she came up big. That's one of the best ones I've seen her do.
Wow, she had 9.75 last night. That's got to be better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So good.
That's what she wanted to do yesterday, for sure.
Big hug from Coach. Gaskins had 9.85, Adams had a 9.8, so we'll see what Olsen's score is. It should be higher than both of those, we think.
Right, nice pass. She was smiling before she even hit the floor on that.
So another full routine in the books for Oklahoma after the 9-9 by Draper. We'll see what Chauffeur's score is. It's going to be Lexi Graber, the gymnast we've been talking about for Alabama, that will go next. But what are your thoughts on Graber?
A lot of pressure in this moment, for sure. Dana really putting a lot of confidence in asking her to step up. You know, we talked about it. She didn't go yesterday at all when she usually is a big scorer on all the events for Alabama. So to see her in this position right now, I mean, you can see it in her eyes. She just wants to get this done and do a good job. So a little bit of pressure here, I say.
Hey, Billie Jean King would say pressure is a privilege. Come on.
There you go. I would agree. So let's see what she can do. And also, she didn't compete yesterday, so hadn't been on any equipment. Yurchenko 1.5. Big vault. You can kind of see her a little gingerly walking back, but she got it done. She did what she needed to do. She stayed on her feet. That was a big vault. Good form.
It's like riding a bike, right?
Yeah. It really is. A lot of times people ask, can you still flip and do all this stuff? The answer for most former gymnasts is yes, but why would I put my body through that?
Well, it's funny because we asked Jordan Weber if she demonstrated things for her team, or if you asked her if she spotted. She's like, no way. But you look at Jordan Weber and you think, oh, she could still compete.
Oh, for sure.
The head coach of Arkansas we're talking about, gold medalist for Team USA. So Oklahoma trying to hang on and qualify for Fort Worth, Alabama in second, trying to make it there as well. Those two leading Arkansas and Missouri by quite a bit heading into this final rotation.
I was going to say, Sam, they're doing a lot more than just hanging on right now. They're just putting on a clinic again tonight on how you can be consistent night after night, putting up big numbers. It's really fun to watch.
La Pinta going on the floor for Oklahoma right now, and the vault by Graber, her score still hasn't come in yet.
Another big pass on the bottom right floor to close out that routine. One and a half.
Quinn.
Yep. Another 10-0 start value. Blind landing does the 1.5.
Graber had a 9.85 and Quinn just went. Quite a streak that I think could get broken tonight. You know, the fact that Alabama's never lost a regional that they've hosted, but I mean, when you bring Oklahoma in here, it almost should have an asterisk next to it. I mean, they're one of the dynasties in the sport.
Yep.
And I don't think too many people expected Alabama to win the SECs, much less have this late season surge here at home. But they are on a roll, I think, heading into Fort Worth, it looks like, as Blanco gets ready to be the final vaulter for the Tide.
you're right about that. I think a lot of people, you know, it was Florida, LSU, SECs, and nobody expected Alabama to do what they did and really just put their foot on the gas, kind of like Oklahoma's done this whole weekend. They did not let up. They led throughout the entire meet. It came down to the last rotation. Arkansas over there drilling bars, having a really good time, lots of energy.
Yeah, that was Maggie O'Hara. She's following a 9.9 by Schaefer and a 9.95 by Hamburg. Those are both career highs. So Arkansas is finished now. And a fantastic accomplishment. Good bounce back for the Razorbacks after they finished 6th or 7th in the SEC. So Blanco nails the landing.
Does what she does best, just gets it done.
And Alabama is finished for the night. We'll wait and see what Blanco's score is and see where Alabama shakes out as a team. But Oklahoma has been awesome on the floor so far. 9-9, 9-9-2-5, and 9-9 the first 3 scores posted.
Yeah, they're having fun over there. Stuff landing bottom line, balance beam as well. Missouri. Marshall.
Jordan Weaver talking to her team in the top right. Their season has come to a close.
She's got to be happy with the way that they closed out that rotation.
Well, yesterday they had top 10 scores in program history in bars and beam. It was the 5th best meet score overall in school history. So they're moving in the right direction in Arkansas. And Oklahoma and Alabama appear to be moving toward Fort Worth. As Belle Johnson wrapped up her floor routine, following all those 9.9s and 9.25s.
And Sam, one of the things you said is, looks like they're heading to Fort Worth. I can guarantee you these teams, they never take it for granted getting an opportunity to compete at the national championships, because it's not guaranteed.
I can't wait to watch. I mean, what an exciting year for gymnastics. The semifinals will be on ESPN2. The championship will be on ABC. As this sport continues to grow in popularity, even in a pandemic year.
You're right, it can be very exciting. I was at the SEC championships in Huntsville, just there as a spectator, and I ran into a young lady who is an Alabama hopeful, all the way from Connecticut, came to Huntsville to see Alabama compete. Stasia Webb doing what she does. Such a treat to watch her perform. Just her movement and her dance is so unique.
She had a 9.95 last night. She is an eye catcher on the floor.
Front double twist. That pass looks simple. She made it look easy, but E-level difficulty.
In this era of floor routines becoming almost theatrical performances, I'd put her right up there. I love the way she conducts these floor routines.
Yeah, and you see a lot of the same movement as well on the balance beam. We talked about that, how aggressive and sharp her movements are. She really stands out. Left. Split jumps all the way extended.
We have the second to last gymnast for Oklahoma. Johnson just scored a 9.9. They haven't scored lower than 9.9 in this rotation on floor.
Piling them up.
Love that.
Huge finish.
Great play Peter Pan.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's a Peter Pan move to me. I love that.
She gets some serious height after that.
Stasia Webb trying to keep up the streak of at least 9.9 for Oklahoma on floor. As Oklahoma looks to build momentum to try to defend their 2019 championship. And they'll have a lot of support down in Fort Worth as well.
Not done much distance to cover to get there for them.
So wrapping it up will be Olivia Troutman on 4 for Oklahoma. And for Missouri on the beam, the final gymnast will be Sienna Schreiber.
Just watching Schreiber before she goes, she kind of dances and stays loose, and real fun to watch the different techniques all the athletes use. Everybody's different. Some people don't want to be talked to. They kind of want to be left alone. Some people just want to talk until it's time to go. She dances.
Missouri's just had such an incredible end of the season with all the injuries they've had. They put up their highest score since 2004. Fantastic season for Shannon Welker and Missouri, and they'll be a force to be reckoned with next year in the SECs. As we turn our attention to the floor now, the final performance of the night for Olivia Troutman in Oklahoma.
First pass, she did a huge double layout, landed it flawlessly. Maggie Nichols up there in the corner cheering her on, the volunteer assistant coach. Missed out on the postseason her senior year, so I'm sure enjoying this in that role.
Troutman scored 9.95 to end floor last night for OU.
She could easily do that again. Strong performance. So far, so good.
Webb had a 9.925 just preceding Troutman. So again, Oklahoma has it scored lower than 9.9. So let's see what it is.
We'll see. They've got to be happy with this performance. 2 nights in a row. Just rock solid.
What a way to finish the competition for Oklahoma, as they were just absolutely dominant on the floor. That, again, a no score under 9.9.
That's big time.
They were led by 2 9.925s. Schofield and Webb, and there's the final dismount for Schreiber and Missouri as their season comes to a close here in this regional final. Let's go back to Troutman's final pass. Ashley, take us through that.
Yeah. Final pass for her. She just gears up, goes right into it. Front layout. Front full. Split lead. Smile on the face because she knows that that's the exclamation point that's putting them through.
Troutman's score was a 9.925. So it was Oklahoma finishing tonight 198.175. So that beats Michigan's 198.1. And for a second straight night, Oklahoma has put up the top score in the country.
That's exciting stuff, and we got to call it. We got to call it. 2 nights in a row had the highest score, team score in the region.
Wow. So Oklahoma advances to Fort Worth. They will appear in the NCAA semifinals on ESPN2, and then hoping to be in that championship meet on ABC. The streak is broken for Alabama in terms of winning regionals on their home court, or their home mat, I guess I should say. But Bama is moving on. So Bama locking down its spot in Fort Worth, and I think they'd take that over that streak any day. As Alabama advancing to Fort Worth as well. This was their 37th appearance at an NCAA regional final. And both head coaches congratulating each other. They were the cream of the crop this weekend, Ashley.
Yeah, they really put on a show, Oklahoma did, and Alabama stayed steady throughout. So look back at some of the highlight performances. Jordan Draper, 9.9 on floor, 2 nights in a row. She opens them up in the first leadoff spot on floor with a huge 9.9. And lowest score of that whole rotation there was a 9.9. We got Shallon Olsen, figured out a way to nail this Yurchenko double twist. Very difficult, finds the landing, does it about as good as she's done it all season long. And then, of course, Luisa Blanco. I mean, what else can you say about this athlete? She's been just a pleasure to watch. Goes 9.9, huge 1.5. Very well executed, lots of heart from this athlete. We still get to see her in Fort Worth.
So we have locked down 6 of the 8 spots up for grabs in Fort Worth. Oklahoma and Alabama advancing here from Tuscaloosa, joining Florida, Minnesota, Michigan, and Cal. Well, Ashley, I want to award you the all-around title for our broadcasts over the past 2 nights because you had to do play-by-play and be analyst. So well done. You're still a champion now in broadcasting, not just gymnastics. It's been a lot of fun having you take us through all these routines with these gymnasts.
Thank you, Sam. It's been a pleasure.
So it is Oklahoma and Alabama moving on to Fort Worth. Oklahoma will have a chance to defend its title from 2019. Jordan Weber, Arkansas's coach, coming over and giving KJ Kindler a hug. And we want to give all you a hug. Thanks for joining us, everybody. This was a lot of fun. An historic couple of nights with ESPN bringing you all of the regionals. Tune back into ESPN2 on the 16th. Semifinals, NCAA gymnastics. Oklahoma and Alabama moving on to Fort Worth.